robust urban garlic flavor.
I don't want to be hyperbolic, but we may be witnessing the end of DSPgaming as we know it. He knew he was in for a rough week, but we have this new and improved King streak where he's going on a run of streams where he's not hitting the goal, and Wednesday was a complete disaster for him. He still raised over $200, but by his standards, he's not going to enjoy the adult Happy Meal this week, which is all that he cares about because he means, oh, I got 150 plus each stream. So his ego is very punctured at the moment. So let's check in on Phil and see how he's doing.
I'll be honest. Today, kind of a disappointing day. And it's funny because we actually had a really good week up to now. Yesterday was actually a pretty good day. The day before was really good.
Actually, it's been a really good week for him because Iron Dent Sakai came in Sunday night and gave him hundreds of dollars in memberships that Phil didn't even count to the goal. So not even including that, he averaged $190 across 6 streams, where all but 2 of those streams goals were hit. But today, the support was less, and he's going to complain about it because he's Phil and he doesn't understand that these things go up and down.
Here's what's going on. Here's what's been happening this week, okay? So we'll have a stream, and we'll have good attendance, pretty good engagement, and then the support will be amazing. So we'll have like a whole goal hit of support, and then we'll have extra, okay? But this week, it has never been enough to hit a second goal on one stream.
That is a lie, Phil. You did hit a second goal on GTA 4 unless there were chargebacks. I'm sure if there were, you would have announced it by now because you're all about telling your fans how you need all their money right now.
So when we hit our goals, it counts as 1 towards the goals, and we've had up to 17 out of 20 this week. Then we'll have a stream where people will show up. We'll have decent engagement. We'll have support, but we'll be like this close to hitting a goal and we won't hit it.
There's only 2 streams that meet that criteria. They both occurred on the day stream, interestingly enough, where he streams longer. But your mileage may vary if he was really as close as he says because he was 20% away from the goal.
I mean, we've had streams where we're like $20 away and we don't hit a goal. Like, wow, really? We're not going to hit a goal when we're that close. Yeah.
To be specific, it was $30 and then $31. So not as close as Phil is making it appear to be.
So what's happened this week is, sadly, even though we've had great streams and overall, this week has been great. I mean, we had an insanely good GTA 4 night where there was all kinds of subs and stuff gifted. We've had streams that have been above and beyond. Those are only counting like once or twice towards the goal. And then other streams aren't counting and it evens out. So now here we are. And today we started at 17 out of 20 goals hit. For us to do DSP Tries It tomorrow, I had to hit goals every single stream. I had to hit goals on today's.
Here's the gist of it. He streamed 8 times this week. He's hit 5 goals. His goal was to hit DSP Tries It in 8 because he needed to get the 20. So of the 9 streams he has, he needed to hit 8 goals. He's only hit 5. So on Thursday's stream, he needs to hit 3 goals to do DSP Tries It. So he's going to have to wait till Sunday to do it unless some whale magically comes in and says, okay, Phil, here's 450 today because I can't wait 3 days.
Mafia finale stream, tonight's Donkey Kong Bonanza stream, and tomorrow's Suikoden 2 HD stream.
Yeah, Phil is prepping us for the great sadness of him not getting as much money as he wants. Boo-hoo.
Today, there was no podcast because I wanted to ensure that we beat Mafia. The good news is we beat Mafia, and I recorded a review of Mafia, which is now live on the channel and is my highlighted video on the channel. So if you are interested in my overall thoughts about Mafia after having fully beaten it, including its length, its gameplay elements, is the game good even though it doesn't have side content, all the questions people kept asking me during the playthrough, get your answer. The review is live, uploaded and highlighted as a channel highlight and the highlighted video on the channel if you just come to the channel, okay? So thank you for that. Give it a look.
Yeah, Phil is really dipping his toes into the evergreen review stuff. Too bad he inundates his channel with complete garbage, unedited gameplay throughs, so nobody will see his evergreen videos. And I mean, just look at this thumbnail. It's atrocious. Hey Phil, reach out to me. I can make better thumbnails for you. But then I have a few ground rules that will prevent you from uploading your coveted gameplay that nobody wants to watch anyway, that you'll not even want me to do either way, so I think we've reached an impasse.
Then we did a Chill with Phil 30 to 40 minute Q&A session where I actually just hung out and just talked with the audience, okay? Did we do good? We did. $120. But we didn't hit the goal. And that's the problem.
Yeah, if Phil's doing the math here. If he accepts not hitting the goal and he bleeds $30 each stream he does a week, that is $360 less, so he really needs to push for that goal because he really needs that money. He can't edit videos or anything, or actually upload clips that people want to watch instead of gameplay that's an hour long.
Now, why didn't we hit the goal? It's very simple. A lot of people didn't like Mafia.
Like the entitled, stubborn man he is, he refused to quit this game because he really wanted to play it. And he refused to do it on his own time, so he'll waste his audience's time and still demand that they give him $150 to do so.
As I said, the entire time we've been playing Mafia the Old Country, a lot of people felt that Mafia is a game that needed more content or more than just monster amounts of story, because it's too many cutscenes and too much stuff going back to back. And I understand that. I just wish that people's mentality were a little different. I think what's happened is people have been conditioned in the last decade to want games with insane amounts of content. So even if I'm playing a narrative-based game, they can't even stand it. Oh my God, it's still cutscenes. Oh, then they freak out and they leave. And today, attendance for Mafia was not good.
Yeah, it's weird. They'll just watch Phil stare angrily at the screen for 2 hours, saying nothing except asking for money. But when a game has actual cutscenes and story, they don't like it. I don't know. But Phil, you played this game 5 times and you only hit the goal twice. And that was mostly because you did a podcast and a lot of the support came in during the podcast. So maybe you should have played the game after you did a podcast with something big. See, you gotta think with your head. If you really want to play a game where you know you won't get support, you should match it with something that you think will get support. Get it?
Seriously, it wasn't. It was very low attendance for Mafia's conclusion because people just apparently were under the impression the game is bad. Truth is, the game was not bad. The game wasn't amazingly great either. It landed somewhere in the middle, and you can learn about that if you watch my review of it.
Dude, you were pretty high on this game previously, so I don't know what happened on the last stream, but besides that, the only real factor that I think you're considering is that you only hit goals 2 out of 5 times, and that makes you salty, and your opinion of the game goes down because of that.
But yeah, it is disheartening that I know that the game playthrough was decent, and people just didn't show up.
Yeah, imagine telling yourself that your gameplay is decent when you have a 200,000 sub channel and your supposed highlights from your live streams can't even crack 500 views.
So it was actually good that we made what we did. Make $120 on a stream that had low attendance is actually really good. So whoever did show up to that stream and supported, thank you. But we didn't hit a goal. So
I will tell you one thing and one thing only I know about Mafia the Old Country. Only Iced Coffee did not like it because otherwise it would have probably hit at least 4 out of the 5 goals.
tonight's late stream, Donkey Kong Bonanza heading into the end game. How do you think that went?
Hey, for all your complaining about Donkey Kong Bonanza, it hit the goal last time. And maybe you shouldn't just dump on a game just because. You can be extremely negative, but you have to be either creative about it or funny, and you are neither of those two things. So you constantly bashing a game that you're going to continue to play is a dumb idea if you're not going to be entertaining, because it just sucks all the air out of it, even though your playthrough does it anyway, because that's just how you act. And your fans are going to be discouraged from even going and attending those streams because you're so negative. You gotta be negative funny, not negative boring and dull.
At this point, Donkey Kong Bonanza is just a game that won't end. It's a game that endlessly continues. No matter how much I play it, no matter how much I try to turbo through it, we're still playing it.
Pity me, I'm playing this game that I say I don't like and I don't have fun playing it and I decide to finish it just because I want to finish the game so the trolls can't say I quit this one. Wow, Phil, great business model that you got going there, that every action you take is determined by how the trolls will react to it. Ignore the trolls and do what your fans want.
Right now, okay, we're 17 parts in. After tonight, we'll be 19 parts in. If you actually do the math, the playthrough is actually something around 25 plus hours, and we still haven't beaten it. It just keeps going.
That's a collectathon, Phil. And it's funny because he complained about Mario Kart World not having enough single-player content, which he didn't even consider the hundreds of hours you can put in on multiplayer. Now he's getting a ton of it. He's like, oh, come on. Why won't this game end? It's like he's cursed. He's forced to complain about every game because he hates playing any game. The only game he wants to play is stare at the screen and wait for contributions to roll in.
And I'm not doing every piece of side content. In fact, tonight, you'll see I skipped a lot. I had enough. I was like, I just want this game to be done with. It's too much tonight. I hate to say it. The game tried, but failed to interest me.
Phil, the only games that are going to interest you are yellow paint, where you do exactly one thing, you follow a line, and you finish it, and it practically plays itself for you. The only other thing I can think of is WWE Gacha mobile games. Anything that a first-party studio is going to put out, you're not going to enjoy.
You know, there was the first world we were finishing up from last time was the musical world, and we just had to do the finale of that world, and it was very brief. And then we went right to the next layer, which was a food layer, where everything is related to like fast food, like burgers and fries and stuff like that. Just fryer oil everywhere. Okay, fine. Except
for somebody that talks obsessively about fast food for like 20 minutes every day on your podcast, I think that should be right up your alley. So I'm amazed that you didn't have a good time with it. That sounds like a lot of joke material right there.
The new gameplay element added is just you have to throw salt at acid to make it dissipate, and that's it. Problem is, it doesn't work right. You can literally have a block of salt in your hand and throw it directly at the acid where you want it to go, and it does nothing.
Ooh, we got another game journalist meme cooking.
So sometimes you have to do it 2-3 times to get it to work, and it's frustrating because now you have to backtrack to grab the salt from another area and then throw it again. Like, what are they doing? Why? We're this late in the game. We're at layer 1500 out of 1700. There's only 1700 layers, so 2 more worlds and we're done. Why does the game mechanic not work right? In addition, we're done learning new transformations, so there's nothing new being added besides, oh, hey, throw salt at acid. That's it. The entire other thing is keep digging, keep getting the bananas, keep getting the... There's nothing new. So it's really boring. In fact, they reused a boss, and they're completely do a boss you've already beaten a second time tonight. Frustrating stuff.
Hey Phil, let me cue you in on something. When you get close to the end of the game, they're basically reviewing and checking to see if you mastered the tools and skills that you learned throughout the game. They're not giving you new stuff. They're not throwing a bunch of other things in there because they're trying to wrap things up. And you're the one who's complaining about the game lasting too long, even though you take at least 1.5 times the average gamer because you're just bad at the game. And it has nothing to do with your shoutouts and things like that.
And then, after beating this entire big part of the world, oh, there's a sub-layer. Oh, no, it's the end of the game. We don't want sub-layers anymore. We want to see the end of the game. Why are you extending the pain? Nintendo, why are you extending the pain? The problem is Nintendo did not pace this game well at all. They just did not. They should have had stages that had new innovations and things that felt cool. Like, again, I know I keep making this comparison. When you play Super Mario Odyssey, right? One stage is the jungle stage. One stage, you're in a city, right? One stage, it's like Dark Souls. It's crazy how different the stages are, right? And each one introducing new hat transformations and things that are unique and cool. In this game, it's not like that. In this game, sadly, when you get to a new world, okay, what's the new element? Oh, acid. Okay, you do it a couple times, all right, fine. But the rest of the stage is identical. Just try to get through it. Not good.
He talks about this so much that I really feel like tempted to go into his Odyssey playthrough and see what the tips totals were, because I'm sure there's a whole lot of game journalist content in there to be pillaged and picked through.
And I'm frustrated because guess what? Low attendance, low support, yet again for Donkey Kong. which I knew would happen, which is why I want this game to be over. But when you've invested 25 hours into it, I want to get to the end of it. I want to be able to review it. I can't do that until the game ends, and it won't end. It just keeps going and going. Like, oh my Lord, I'm losing my mind trying to play this thing.
Really, I just think he's playing it to the end to say that he did, not because he enjoys it or he's getting money for it. He just doesn't want the flack, allegedly, which I don't think is a big deal, honestly, of the trolls saying that he wage quit a game. That hyper-focused on the trolls, that he doesn't understand what his audience wants. He's like, oh, I'm this big-time variety streamer. It's like, no, you're not. You're a panhandler to like 5 whales, Phil. As you said, you make curated content, and this is not enjoyable content, so just shell the game. The Begnanza is done. You lost your bananas.
Now, did we have horrible support? No. But we didn't hit the goal.
And if he accepts getting $60 less than the goal each and every time, he will be down $720 a week, and that's why he has to complain about it on his daily wrap.
So guess what? Tomorrow is my final streaming day of the week. Like I told you guys at the beginning, this is a shorter week. I have 2 streams tomorrow. The first stream will be the Level 1 podcast, where we're going to cover this Pokemon announcement event, supposedly.
DSP can't wait because Derich in his sock account will tell him 10,000 facts about Pokemon, and he thinks that he's going to make bank with Legends ZA, because it's $25 to nickname a Pokemon in a game that's full of Pokemon. And Phil didn't have that brilliant idea with Legends Arceus, that's why he didn't do the post-game stuff, because he wanted to do a bidding war where they top tip at the end of the stream got to nickname the Pokemon. And you know what happened? Everybody held their tips until the last minute. Nobody wanted to play Phil's stupid beat the tips game.
This Silk Song announcement event, supposedly. So if we find videos and things to react to, I will react to those on the podcast tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow, the DSP React content. It's not like Phil decided to dedicate a whole channel for that, only for it to be a complete failure that was only there so Phil could get extra membership bombs.
And we'll have a chill show as usual. Then it is Suikoden 2 HD continuing. We started this yesterday, had a great time with it, but we didn't hit a goal. So if we didn't do it the first time, what makes you think we're going to do it the second time, right?
Yeah, Phil was really hoping that the deer in headlights guy that saved his Minecraft stream by giving over $100 and giving Only Iced Coffee the day off would come back and wail out over Donkey Kong Bonanza, even though he told Phil on the stream, yeah, I don't like Begnanza. Maybe that's why you shouldn't just trash a game and discourage your audience from viewing it unless you have some comedy to make out of it. You gotta be entertaining, you idiot. And now the expectation has been lowered. Okay, the deer in headlights guy is gonna come back and save Minecraft next week, even though Only Iced Coffee's got that covered. So we're just stuck here with games not hitting the goals. What happened with Suikoden, Phil? The first game hit the goals every single stream apparently, and now you're struggling to hit a goal on it in the premiere of all things? Oh no, Phil, we're in some deep troubling times with you right now. The goals are just not getting hit.
So I wish that we would, but it is what it is. So likely tomorrow first stream, we're not going to hit a goal. I hope we do. Maybe it'll be a miracle and some people will come by and support, but I'm not counting on it. Okay?
Yeah, Phil was really banking on hitting at least one goal today, despite the games being stuff that he knows his audience isn't really keen on seeing him play. Because he was like, okay, if we needed to hit 1 or 2 goals for DSP Tries It, I can convince them to support Suikoden 2. But now that it's 3, he knows 450 is an extremely tall ask for his fans, unless one whale decides, hey, I want to give Phil $350 today or something like that. So he knows he's not doing the McDonald's Happy Meal today, and without DSP Tries It, he doesn't know if there's anything else he can do to incentivize his fans to give him money. Yeah, the entertainment factor is just totally out the window. It's just asking for money and demanding money and begging for money, and it doesn't work, and Phil is wondering what's going on. This is a very slow week, and the thing is, Phil is trying to make up for the extra day he's taking off. He was on track for it, but now he's only $153 ahead, so he's only making making up for one stream. And the reality really is it's probably a lot more or less than that, because there are a lot of streams where he goes over the goal and that's surplus. So if he makes 1,800 a week, he's actually less than what he usually does. If something happens and he raises like $600 tomorrow, basically a wash for the week, so he can take an extra day off. But now he has to beg harder, and the fans aren't going to be receptive to it, because like 450 for DSP tries it today, no way.
Tomorrow night's late stream is Thursday night fights, Capcom versus SNK2.
Yeah, and if you look closely, it kind of looks like he's bouncing on his leg because he's nervous, because he knows Capcom on Friday nights always usually hits the goal, but when it's like Wednesday or Thursday, it has some struggle there. So he's like, oh, that's another goal I'm not going to hit.
I'm going to try to do a challenge set against my old friend Smooth Cat. We were supposed to do this like a month ago, and it all fell through. We tried to do it again. We're hoping we can make it work this time. He's probably going to beat me, but even if I play him and it's a good match and I learn something, then it's worth it, right? I just don't know how the connection is going to be, and I'm worried about that because he still lives on the East Coast, and I live on the West Coast, so it may be awful. But we're going to try to do that, and then more ranked gameplay. Likely it's going to end up having to be all on PS5 because no one plays this game on PC anymore. So there you go, the final streams of the week. Level 1 Podcast, Suicode N2, CVS2.
And Phil is really thinking right now that he's going to go 4 straight streams without hitting a goal. I can't remember the last time that happened. Definitely before the Kino arc. So Phil is really sweating it right now, because not only is he streaming 2 streams less than usual, he is not making as much as he expects, even though he is getting more than $150 on average per stream this week. And if the memberships that the alleged Iron Chef Sakai went through, he's making a lot more than he's putting on his total. So this is just Phil. He's begging because he's in trouble, and it also hurts his ego when he doesn't hit a goal, because he's like, my fans don't like me when we don't hit goals, or something like that. He's just very fragile.
Not the kind of stuff that I'm probably going to be hitting and exceeding goals. Maybe I'll hit a goal or 2, but there's no way we're going to hit 3 goals on that first stream and do DSP Tries It.
Oh, never say never, Phil. When there's a whale, there's a will, there's a way. And who knows, maybe Phil is going into secret Discord right now and coordinating with his whales to make sure he hits at least 2 goals on that day stream, just so he can try and squeeze the extra 150 out of the rest of his fans. You see, that's how Phil operates his business. It's all about trying to get as much as possible as soon as possible, instead of actually thinking about how can I make this entertaining so more people would actually want to support me and want to watch my stuff. Not have like a bunch of LARPers on Raw Phil that just want to make fun of me. Oh wait, because you ban everybody because you're so fragile and you're so full of yourself that you can't have a good laugh now and then.
You might say, well, it's not a big deal, just do it on Sunday.
Yes, and that's how any rational person would see it, but Phil wants to live this luxurious lifestyle that he gets funded by a bunch of whales. So he's like, no, I need that money. I'm entitled to your money. Give it to me now, or I will throw a fit. The goal is a celebration of me getting money. So if we don't do the DSP Tries It, it means I didn't get enough money. Even though cumulatively the sum total he's gotten already this week is more than that 8 goals total. It's just he expects the goal and then some. So it may be a $1,500 goal. He expects overflow, so it's closer to something like 2,000.
We need 3 goals. Do you really think we're going to hit 3 goals tomorrow? Probably not. So I'm off Friday, Saturday. When I come back Sunday, we're probably not doing it again.
And he's like, come on, guys. Now I'm going to be extremely behind on my WWE champions playing. More than likely, he's going to hit at least 1 goal tomorrow. And that means he can beg for $300 on Sunday. See, everything works out eventually, but if you're Phil, you have to constantly pester and prod your fans, because you have to make it a continuous cycle of fear of missing out and panic mode, because otherwise, he's not entertaining enough to carry a stream. That's why it's all about the money, because that's all that Phil cares about. Besides, you know, him being competitive and saying that he's the best fighting game player ever, stuff like that. Which is why he hated Mario Kart, because he couldn't win every single multiplayer knockout tour match.
And this is what's frustrating, is overall, this has not been a bad week. I want to reiterate this. It's been a good week. Really. We got through a lot of games, right? We finished Mafia. We're done with Death Stranding 2. We're almost done with Donkey Kong. And we're going to be doing the DLC for GTA 4 soon, which is awesome, right? All that was accomplished this week. We've had many streams where we exceeded goals and stuff, but the way it just lined up, you know, again, having a stream where you exceed a goal, but you don't hit a second, so it doesn't count. Then the next stream, you almost hit the goal, but it doesn't count.
Yeah, here's a strategy for you, Phil. If you don't hit the goal on the day stream, here's what you should do. The second stream, once you hit the first goal, you add the total from the day stream onto it. So it incentivizes them to give you more money on the night stream than just 150 alone, especially because you're streaming less. And you can also do this when you get like $200 on the day stream. You hit 150 on the night, okay, you add an extra 50, so you're at 200, so you can beg for the extra 100. You see how that works? That can be an incentive to get these goals and get you more money in the long run. But you want to do the, we're not going to carry things over. Now, I get why you do that, because you would normalize getting $75 on your day stream and then only hitting one goal in the night if you just had a simple carryover. And you can't have that because the day stream, you need more money because you're streaming longer. So it makes sense to maximize the day streams. And what's going on this week is the day streams are tanking, which is pretty interesting. So it maybe means that you should shuffle up what you're doing during the day.
It sucked. Like, dead to rights, we should have been at 20 goals already, but it just didn't work out that way. Okay. So I want you guys to understand, I'm not frustrated at you at all. It's been a great week. It just sucks that this is why we can't do DSP Tries It. All right.
Yeah, so what is he trying to normalize? You hitting the goal every single stream regardless. That's what he's really panicking about, because the goal is his floor. That's his expected floor. $150 every single stream. Now in the past, he just had tips, so it was 50, 100, 150. So his floor was a little lower in between the 100 to 150 range. But now, since he includes YouTube and Kick, even though he gets a huge chunk from Kick, 95%, it only pays him weekly. YouTube, it's 70%. So 150 to him is basically 105. So he's like, that's not enough. We got to push higher and higher and higher. But the problem is, since he admitted to WWE champions, his audience attendance has gone down because people don't want to give their money to somebody that e-begs to play a gacha mobile game, pretending that they need money for groceries while they're wasting it in a black pit and then demanding more each and every time. That's Phil's issue. So he's got to be entertaining to dig his way out of the hole, but he's just going to beg to do so.
Tomorrow, maybe a miracle will happen and we'll do it. But if not, it's not the end of the world.
So that is a direct call to the whales. By the time this video comes out, I'm sure most of you will already know what happened, but Phil is definitely trying to plan a Whale Mary. I don't think he'll be able to get all the way there, but I expect Suikoden 2 to have a better showing than $120 that he did last time, because he's really going to be pushing hard, because he needs this to be a successful playthrough, because he just wants something that's bankable all the time, and the only thing that is for him right now is Truck Sim. He's having a lot of trouble right now convincing his fans to give him 150. So here's the thing, Phil. You should probably lower your goal to 100 or 125, because that means you have a bigger chance of getting double goals hit. Or maybe after the 150, make the second goal 250, so they only need 100 to hit that double goal. So incentivize them, because it looks like 150 straight into 300 is not working, because 150 itself is not working. Something isn't working, you need to mix it up. But I think right where you are, you're comfortable, because the average is over 150. I think as long as you're over 150, I think you're going to be fine. If it dips like a weekly average to where you're only making 125, 130 or something like that, then you're probably going to look into doing something differently. But as long as it's above 150, you're just going to stick to straight begging.
I do hope you will attend the podcast, because that's going to be a great one with me reacting to this new stuff for new games.
Yeah, remember that this guy was so good at reacting. If it was just based on viewership, he would have been done in like 2 weeks. He only kept it for like a year just to funnel memberships, getting an extra double dipping of channel memberships. That was all, because he was just terrible and boring at reacting.
And of course, if you stick around for Suikoden 2, it's a great game. I really love it. It's near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite RPGs of all time. I would love to hit a goal playing it. We'll see. All right, and we'll go from there. And I hope you'll be there for CVS 2 as well. Thank you guys for a great week. Let's have a good ending to it tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah, Phil was completely blindsided by Suikoden 2 not hitting the goal. That's why he's in this panic mode beg state, because whenever something doesn't hit in the goal, he just automatically reverts to begging, because he thought it was going to be a slam dunk. He's like, the viewers paid me to play a second playthrough. Yeah, but that was 6 months ago. And if they paid for it, they're going to need to be primed to give you more money for it, because they're going to be like, all right, we gave Phil money already for this. He's good. But the thing with Phil, he has to convince you each and every day that he's never good, otherwise he won't get any money, and then within a month he'll be in trouble because he doesn't save any money.
All right, everybody. And by the way, I really, really sincerely hope the next stream of Donkey Kong is the last one. I don't want to play it anymore. You get to the point where it's like, dude, this is too long.
Dude, you have nobody to blame but yourself. You choose to play this game every single week regardless because you think you have to complete games or something. Like, I bet you it's some stupid reason that he has in his head, oh, if I quit this game, the trolls are gonna laugh at me. Trolls are already enjoying that you are not hitting goals. Like, seriously, what you should do is you could bring back Mario Kart and just quit Donkey Kong Bonanza, and you'd be making more money. Even on your last stream of Mario Kart, you made more than what you did today, and you had a lot more contributions.
They really made this game drag out too far. There's nothing new going on that's interesting anymore. It should be over, and it's not. They effed it up. So it is what it is, but maybe we'll beat it next week. We'll see. I hope so. All right, guys?
Yeah, Phil, what you don't understand is you acting completely exhausted and tired of a game does not encourage your fans to even show up for the playthrough. It especially doesn't encourage them to give you money for it. That's why these streams have been so hard for you to hit these goals. It's not because Nintendo made a bad game. It's because you have a negative attitude about it, and that negative attitude is not entertaining. It's just boring. You gotta have energy, Phil. You gotta put something into it. You gotta put the effort into it. You just want to do minimum effort, maximum profit. And from what I see, it looks pretty good. You've raised like $1,200+ from streaming for 4 days, from just whining and complaining and stuff like that. It's looking pretty good for Phil to just turn on OBS and play games. So you may whine about not being able to do DSP tries it every single week because it means you're not as successful as if you were. But Phil, maybe the goal system that you have in place now is running its course and you're not realizing it, because your DSP tries it is not anything special. Arguably, your fans get more interest in you wearing a hat or a vest than they do seeing you chomp on a burger. I'm sorry, but that just may be the case. Maybe you need to rotate stuff. Maybe you need to offer something new. Maybe you need to be more entertaining. Maybe you need to be more grateful for the support that you get instead of whining and complaining when you don't hit goals each and every time. But who am I to say? I don't think like your whales do. I need to get in that headspace so I understand what's going on. Alright, everybody. Thank you for watching another video of DSP's Crash Outs 220 edition. So go tell me what you think about the king. I'm sure you already have, and I will see you all next time for more robust urban content.